به نام خدا سلام عرض می‌کنم بینندگان عزیز خانم‌ها و آقایان.
In the name of God. Hello, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well. A while ago, I released a video with the help of some friends. It was about a topic I knew was really important and that many social, family, and personal crises actually stem from neglecting this issue. We shared it on our other channel, Exia, which focuses on family matters and provides family education. Based on my own experiences and what I knew about how important this topic could be. But honestly, I didn't realize this issue was so widespread. That's why, since I felt it's really important, and maybe many of you watching aren't subscribed to the Exire channel yet, which I definitely recommend, especially if you have questions or problems in your family, I suggest we follow up on it. But out of respect for those who might not be subscribed to that channel and are following this one instead, I want to talk to you here with a different perspective, though still in line with the same message. Hey friends, take this warning really seriously. The warning is, please don't become close friends with just anyone too quickly. Some people are genuinely good-hearted and simple because their hearts are pure and their feelings are kind. But as soon as they connect with someone, the other person smiles, asks how they're doing, and boom. The whole story of friendship and closeness starts right away. And what's even more dangerous is when they let that person into their personal and family life. Seriously, don't do that. It's really concerning. Don't be naive. In the society we live in, there are all kinds of people out there, all types living their lives. Good people, bad people, scammers, con artists, people who just sit around watching others suffer and try to profit from their pain. Unfortunately, there are plenty of those kinds of people, especially among those who have migrated. I know many of you watching this video right now are my fellow countrymen living abroad, not in your homeland. And sadly, those living outside of Iran or their own countries, like my dear friends from Tajikistan and Afghanistan who follow this channel, well, we're all a bit like strangers here. We're people living in another country, and honestly, we often don't know a lot of the rules. We're not aware of many situations. Sometimes we don't even know the language. Then, someone who speaks our language shows up, but they're sneaky. Someone who speaks our language, but unfortunately is a scammer, hiding behind a very friendly mask. They come and try to befriend you. For example, if you don't know a law, they say, "I'll help you, I'm here for you." They make you trust them so much that, God forbid, if you're a bit naive, you end up losing your money. Sometimes, God forbid, even your honor. Unfortunately, people get taken advantage of. We see these things happening all the time, especially friends. Be really careful. Don't let strangers into your life. A home is a place of safety and peace. A home has boundaries. A home has sanctity. Don't just grab any stranger's hand and bring them into your home. Many people carry toxic vibes. They have negative energy. I've talked before about energies, about the 4 types of energies. Definitely pay attention to those talks. Energy is a very scientific and important topic. There are people who, because of their bad morals, toxic thoughts, and many other reasons, actually, the negative impact they've had in their life means they're mixed with bad energy. Negative energy, when it piles up, is like garbage. Think about what gathers around trash. Flies, pollution, people with toxic thoughts, people with poisoned minds, people who are always stirring up drama, deceit, or even betrayal. When these kinds of people come into your life, they're not good for you. Their eyes are contaminated, their words are contaminated, and they bring a whole world of negative energy into the peaceful space of your life, a peaceful home that's supposed to be. When the peace of people's souls turns into a negative vibe, there are a lot of people who have no problems as long as a certain person doesn't enter their home or life. I see many life crises during my counseling sessions. When you trace them back, you realize they all started when someone outside came into their life or when one family got involved with another. Why do you do this, dear ones? Not paying attention and basically setting your own life on fire. Not long ago, A dear friend of mine living abroad in a Western country was in touch with me. He was saying how hard it was, what kind of crises and problems he went through just to get his wife's residency sorted out. He spent 2 or 3 years stuck on this issue, spent a lot of money on lawyers and immigration stuff. Finally, he managed to bring his wife here. But when she arrived, since she didn't know the language and he was working hard to support them financially, he told her to go to college to learn English. Unfortunately, while she was at college, she ended up making friends with some other people and got involved with them. Family connections form through those kinds of ties. Strangers who've never been part of the family get involved in their lives, and things get so messed up that unfortunately, because of those outsiders meddling, the wife of this poor guy I was talking to ends up influenced by them, gets tricked, and ends up leaving him herself. I know none of us like to see that happen, but let's be careful. God forbid, those wolves might be right outside our own doors too, just because someone speaks the same language as me, or because someone talks nicely, or because a certain person showed me some kindness. He gave me some info and even gave me a few tips, but that doesn't mean I should quickly become friends and let him into my personal space. I've seen so many family relationships like this over the years. My friends, this is what I do. I've seen how much misery happens in people's lives. At first, they build a really good connection. They become friends. They go out a couple of times, hit the movies, go to the park together. Then they come over for dinner at our place. We go to their place for lunch, and before you know it, that person has crossed into the private space of these simple folks' lives. God forbid. A guy who comes into this life with dirty, impure eyes for the family, spouse, and daughter. God forbid something like that ever ruins someone's life. Dear friends, don't be naive. Pay attention. It doesn't mean we should look at everyone with suspicion. I'm not saying to view people with bad intentions, but don't be foolish either. Don't rush into friendships with just anyone. Everyone has their own boundaries. Everyone has a certain way they relate to others. The art of living is being able to build relationships through good interactions, relationships that have rules and boundaries. Keep things at the right level with everyone. The kind of person and the level of security we can feel with them is what builds a relationship. Test people out. Put them through different situations to see how they act. Sometimes, when you're connecting with someone, pay attention to how they view your life. How much do they pry into your life? How many questions do they ask? Are they trying to find out where your income comes from, what your spouse does, where your kids go to school? Be very careful. Don't share your personal information with just anyone. All the tricks, schemes, and dramas that a lot of people create come from that. They do it because you give them info yourself. If you don't share much about your life with others, how would they know which angle to use to get into your life and benefit from it? The person doesn't know, before even stepping into your home, that you might have work problems or residency issues or some other important problem in your life. Through casual chats and family visits, they find out. Then they contact you saying, "I can help you out with this through one of my friends." Well, of course you like this kind of thing. We're all like that. I'm the same way. When I run into a problem, if someone comes along and offers me help to get out of it, I definitely accept. That's fine. But the problem is when I'm not careful and fall into a trap that's been planned out in advance to take advantage of my need, my weakness, or the problem I'm facing in my life, setting up paths and steps that end up drowning me. So many people have ended up like that. A while ago, someone was talking to me and said that to sort out my residency in a country, they advised me to register a company. But I had no clue about any of this. I had no experience and didn't know the country's laws. Someone told me they could do it for me, just so they could make a few bucks from me as their fee. I trusted them, thinking this would help me fix my residency and maybe have some income. But I had zero experience, and they got me involved in the registration process. It didn't even take a year before I realized how many problems I had. Now I want to shut down the company. There are dozens of extra costs that have completely ruined me. It's eaten away at my whole mind and spirit. Look, everyone's got their own type. Some get greedy just to make a quick buck by acting as a middleman, and they end up trapping you in a bigger mess. Some get greedy, God forbid, and look at your family with dirty eyes. Some just want to benefit from you or take advantage of you without you even realizing it. Friends, not every hello or what's up is meant to be good for us. Be very careful. Really watch out for strangers, especially when it comes to your personal boundaries. A home should feel like a safe place, a real home for a person. You need to have a house where, the moment you walk in, you feel calm and at peace. Everyone in the family should stick to certain boundaries and follow some clear rules. Please make sure to share this advice and warning with all family members, whether your child is going to school, college or university or working, and even your spouse. Take these warnings seriously. Maybe because of your job or lifestyle, you've only experienced 2 or 3 of these things yourself or heard about them from others. People like me who deal with family issues come across dozens of cases every week, and they all basically boil down to the same root problem. Maybe, just maybe, you watching this video right now are one of those dear ones who unfortunately got hurt. Be really careful. Pay close attention when you judge people. Look at who's giving you advice, what's going on in their own life. If you check out their life, you'll see they're in crisis themselves. They don't have a stable family, and they've had all kinds of problems and struggles they couldn't overcome. A strong family that's healthy and solid. Only they have the right to guide you, give you advice, and help you get through tough times. There are so many people who, when you look at their own lives, are total chaos. But they put on this calm, polite, and composed act just to trap you. Don't fall for it. Be very careful, dear friends, especially if you have a young spouse or daughter. There are plenty of wolves out there. Untrustworthy and unethical people are everywhere. Never trust just anyone. Don't let it into your life. Not just with strangers, but even if someone's family or close to you, it's not right to let them cross your boundaries. Be careful. I felt like maybe it's my responsibility to take this chance to share everything I see and the struggles people go through that really upset me. It bothers me how someone can mess up their life so badly just because they're too simple or trusting. This made me want to say this, even though I usually don't focus on topics like this here, and mostly talk about self-development. Consider this a warning, just letting you know. Please share this video with anyone you think might be facing these issues. Spread it around. It doesn't take much to help people. Don't doubt it, my dear friends. Whenever you help someone, God helps you in return. That's how the world works. It's the law of action and reaction. Do good and good will come back to you. I suggest, if you're dealing with family problems or the kinds of crises that unfortunately are increasing, not just in our country but worldwide, family issues are becoming a real crisis. Seriously, if you're interested, definitely follow the Elixir channel. I think the professional lessons they offer there can really help and clear up a lot of problems you might be dealing with, especially for young people or those about to remarry, like if they've been divorced, have a history of divorce, or are just about to get married for the first time. They need to pay close attention to some important points, which we cover in the lessons on the Elixir channel. Hope this video was helpful. Please give it a like. Thanks. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a comment. If you or someone you know has gone through similar tough experiences, please share them in the comments. Let's help everyone reading this be a little wiser and more careful about their lives. Thank you so much. Wherever you are, I wish you peace and safety. Sincerely, Amir Mehrdad Khosravi.
آرامش و امنیت آرزو می‌کنم. ارادتمند شما، امیر مهرداد خسروی.